As we move through this Virgo season, accompanied by the Hermit and the 3 cards of its decans, this year we are also accompanied by the 6 and 7 of Swords, the 8 and Queen of Wands, and the Oracle card of Squirrel, telling us to prepare for big changes. There may be much more happening beneath the surface. From August the 23rd through to September the 22nd, we will be in Virgo season. And as you can see from this card, its keyword here is digest. The Virgin is the symbol for the sign of Virgo with the mantra, I analyze or I serve. Virgo is a mutable earth sign ruled by Mercury, and as we can see on this card, its keyword is messages. Mercury's qualities of thinking, learning, and communication are expressed through Virgo's gifts of analysis, precision, organization, practical thinking, and problem solving. Virgo's general themes are around organization, service, improvement, and health, while its potential challenges during the season could come from perfectionism, self-criticism, worry, or over-analyzing. As we move through the year's cycle of growth, the Virgo season is a time to refine. So let's look at the major arcana associated with Virgo, which is number 9, the Hermit. And the relationship between Virgo and the Hermit is about discernment, introspection, wisdom, refinement, solitude, and service through insight. Virgo finds wisdom through reflection in the Hermit. Here we learn to seek wisdom. The Hermit has the gifts of discernment, wisdom, humility, careful observation, and a commitment to growth and service. The Hermit also seeks truth beneath appearances. Although its shadow can be perfectionism, isolation, excessive self-criticism, or becoming lost in analysis. We are asked to trust that wisdom is not found in flawless performance, and we are encouraged to share our insights with others instead of retreating into endless self-improvement. Virgo refines the self. As we move through each of the 3 decans of the Virgo season, we find that the energy subtly changes. Starting with Virgo's first decan, August 23rd to September the 1st, we have it represented by the 8 of Pentacles, which is the Sun in Virgo. And this is about the Hermit learning through disciplined practice. Called the Lord of Prudence by the Golden Dawn, it can have themes of apprenticeship, craftsmanship, and disciplined effort. The beginning of Virgo season is about showing up consistently. The Hermit transforms the 8 of Pentacles from a simple labor into a spiritual practice. Every repetition, correction, and refinement becomes an opportunity for growth. Rather than asking, how quickly can I succeed, the question becomes, how carefully can I learn? As we move into Virgo's second decan between September the 2nd and 11th, and represented by the 9 of Pentacles, which is Venus in Virgo, it's about the diligent work of the 8 of Pentacles beginning to bear fruit. Called the Lord of Gain by the Golden Dawn, it's about self-sufficiency, refinement, and earned abundance. During the middle of the season, the Hermit reminds us that abundance is richest when paired with gratitude and simplicity. And then moving into Virgo's third decan, which is September the 12th to the 21st or the 22nd, We have this represented by the Ten of Pentacles, which is Mercury in Virgo, and is about expanding beyond personal achievement towards community and inheritance. Called the Lord of Wealth by the Golden Dawn, with the themes of legacy, stability, and generational wisdom. In the final decan, the Hermit asks not only what has been learned, but what can be passed on. So in this overall arc of the Virgo season, we have the Eight of Pentacles encouraging us to learn through disciplined practice and refinement. The Nine of Pentacles encouraging us to enjoy the independence and confidence that skill creates, while the Ten of Pentacles reminding us to transform personal mastery into a lasting legacy for others. With the Hermit illuminating the entire journey, the Virgo season becomes less about perfectionism and more about the quiet accumulation of wisdom through meaningful work. The lantern carried by the Hermit lights not only the seeker's own path, but ultimately the path of those who follow. So while these cards will represent the overarching energy for every Virgo season, let's go ahead and draw some additional cards specifically for this moment in time, for this Virgo season. Now I have shuffled the cards off camera and they're ready to be pulled. And the first card we're pulling is for the overall current energy affecting all of us right now. Interesting. Here we have showing up the Seven of Swords. Looking at that, I think we might need to take a moment or two to just ruminate on what the Seven of Swords showing up in our energies is trying to tell us for this season of refinement. I mean, we've seen that generally Virgo season is a time to work towards the quiet accumulation of wisdom through meaningful work. So what is the Seven of Swords pointing to in our case? There are a number of different ways we can read this card, and it might take a little bit of investigation to figure out what the message is for each of us depending on our own specific circumstances. Often, as many of you might know, it is a card that talks about secrets, about lies or deceit, or about being betrayed, or about manipulative behavior, or about somebody being calculating and scheming, or not being honest with themselves or with others, or trying to, or even getting away with something. On the other hand, it can also be read as a search within for greater truth, for investigation, for acting strategically. Or it can be running away and just wanting to be a lone wolf. Another way it has been read often is about being spontaneous, or about improvising, or doing things differently, as well as taking chances, finding answers, taking confident action, and having the advantage of surprise. So this could be the moment where each of us takes the time to sit with the Hermit and really discern where we are along this spectrum for the Seven of Swords in our own situation. What is the Seven of Swords saying to us, to each of us specifically? As you've listened to the various different ways it can be read, did any of them ping for you? Did any of them give you an aha moment where you would say, I didn't see that before, but now I see it? Once you can see something, you can do something about it. Or it could underline, yes, I am investigating. I am looking for the greater truth. I am searching for that, and that resonates with me. So as I say, lean into it. Take the time. This might be the part of the reading where you have to do a little bit of your own specific work. There just isn't an answer that's going to fit everybody. And I think the idea of what the answer would be is going to be, with the Seven of Swords having so many different ways of being read, possibly, it's going to be quite different for each of us. Let's see what else we can pick up. So in the second card, where we're looking at what current challenges or obstacles we might have, what's helping us, what's hindering us, what shows up. Let's see. And here we have the Queen of Wands. So now, is the Queen of Wands showing up as somebody, as a person who could help us? Or is she showing up as the type of energy we need to embrace to move forward or to be careful of? Again, that's going to differ for each of us. In my own case, I think she's showing up as my own energy, but that'll be up to each of you to figure out for yourselves. When she is showing up in a positive way, she's courageous and confident and passionate and energetic, and she's helpful. But if she shows up with more of her shadow side, it could be domineering or self-involved or being obsessive or being highly dramatic or being guarded. One other possibility that springs to my mind with the Queen of Wands showing up here is that she might be here to warn us to stay on track. Often when the passion of the wands, there can be a tendency to get sidetracked with other new ideas and not stay the course. And we know that the Virgo season, we've got the Eight of Pentacles, diligent, consistent work. So we want to perhaps be careful as well that we don't allow ourselves to get sidetracked by the Queen of Wands, and that we stay focused on what it is we want to achieve. Let's take a look at what might be in the underlying influences, what's in the unconscious or the subconscious, what we haven't seen yet, or what we haven't even acknowledged. Let's see. And here we have the Six of Swords. Another swords. Definitely pointing to the fact that this is all about our thinking, about the way we're approaching it mentally. And it would appear that since it's showing up in this position, this could be pointing us to something that we haven't seen yet, that we haven't acknowledged yet. I mean, for instance, if in the Seven of Swords we are lying to ourselves, the Six of Swords might be telling us that we haven't seen, that we're caught up in our own minds and that we're not telling ourselves the truth. It could also be asking us whether we're stuck in a situation. Do we even know that there is a solution to our situation? Do we know that we can easily change our situation if we simply change the way we think? It's food for thought for sure. I think it's definitely time to acknowledge the situation if we haven't already done so that we can find the strategies and solutions we need to move forward. And we're going to be able to do this with our thoughts, gaining clarity and being able to then find the way through. What is the final advice card? The Eight of Wands. Things moving swiftly, cleanly, simply. And I think this also indicates that we're going to soon find clarity, and that once we do, the resistance is going to fall away. And with that, a major development or breakthrough is possible. So that's really great. The only thing is, I do believe we probably have to do the work with the Seven of Swords, perhaps also the Six of Swords, and just pay attention that we are sticking to the work and not getting sidetracked, and then all will be well. Fun for summer, for sure. The Hermit asks us to slow down enough to discern what is true, refine what isn't working, and to turn experience into wisdom. The Seven of Swords says, before you start fixing everything, determine what actually needs fixing. There may be something hidden, avoided, misunderstood, or strategically requiring a different approach. This is where the Hermit's lantern becomes essential. Look beneath appearances. The Queen of Wands then asks us to examine how we're showing up. Are we bringing courage, confidence, and creative passion to our work? Or are we becoming distracted, controlling, defensive, overly focused on proving ourselves? The Queen provides the fire that keeps Virgo Earth from becoming stagnant, but she needs direction. The Six of Swords reveals the deeper transition beneath everything. Virgo wants to analyze and improve, but sometimes the greatest improvement comes from not doing more, but from thinking differently. Something may already be ready to be left behind. We just have to figure it out. The message of the Eight of Wands tells us that once the Hermit's discernment has done its work, it's time to move. Virgo can sometimes remain indefinitely in preparation, analysis, and refinement. The Eight of Wands says that clarity is meant to create movement, not another round of overthinking. Okay, let's draw a card from the Power Animal Oracle cards. And the card on the top of the deck here is the Squirrel, with the keyword preparation and the phrase, get ready for big changes. Well, that seems very apropos based on everything we've talked about so far. And the message isn't simply prepare because something is coming. It is prepare wisely because the work we're doing now may become the foundation for what comes next. The Hermit's lantern moves through the entire season. We start with discernment, move through practice and refinement, and then integration. And then we move into sharing the wisdom. The Virgo season isn't asking us to become perfect, it's asking us to become wiser. I do hope that you have found this reading to be thought-provoking as well as helpful and interesting. And I would be very grateful if you would consider supporting the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with others. In the meantime, sending you all love, light, and many blessings for Virgo season.